Welcome to the Folktale Project. This is Dan Scholz. Today we're picking back up with the story of the terrible head, which, by now, I hope is clear to all, is the story of Perseus, as that is who our young hero is. So far, Perseus has gone off in search of the bearer of the terrible head, Medusa. And we left Perseus with the fairies, and they were going to give him something very special. And so we rejoin the story of the terrible head, part 4. These grave dancing fairies were very unlike the grey women, and they were glad to see the boy and treated him kindly. Then they asked him why he had come, and he told them how he was sent to find the sword of sharpness and the cap of darkness. And the fairies gave him these, and a wallet and a shield, and belted the shield, which had a diamond blade, round his waist. And the cap they set on his head, and told him that now even they could not see him, though they were fairies. Then he took it off, and they each kissed him and wished him good fortune. And then they began again their eternal dance round the golden tree, for it is their business to guard it till the new times come, or till the world's ending. So the boy put the cap on his head, and hung the wallet round his waist, and the shining shield on his shoulders, and flew beyond the great river that lies coiled like a serpent round the whole world. And by the banks of that river, there he found the 3 terrible women, all asleep beneath the poplar tree, and the dead poplar leaves lay all about them. Their golden wings were folded, and their brass claws were crossed, and 2 of them slept with their hideous heads beneath their wings like birds, and the serpents in their hair writhed out from under the feathers of gold. But the youngest slept between her 2 sisters, and she lay on her back, with her beautiful, sad face turned to the sky. And, though she slept, her eyes were wide open. If the boy had seen her, he would have been changed into stone by the terror and the pity of it. She was so awful, but he had thought of a plan for killing her without looking on her face. As soon as he caught sight of the 3 from far, he took the shining shield from his shoulders and held it up like a mirror, so that he saw the dreadful women reflected in it, and did not see the terrible head itself. Then he came nearer and nearer, till he reckoned that he was within a sword stroke of the youngest, and he guessed where he should strike a back blow behind him. Then he drew the sword of sharpness and struck once, and the terrible head was cut from the shoulders of the creature, and the blood leaped out and struck him like a blow. But he thrust the terrible head into his wallet, and flew away without looking behind. Then the 2 dreadful sisters who were left wakened, and rose into the air like great birds, and though they could not see him because of his cap of darkness, they flew after him up the wind, following by the scent through the clouds, like hounds hunting in a wood. They came so close that he could hear the clatter of their golden wings, and their shrieks to each other, "Here, here! No, there! This way he went!" as they chased him. But the shoes of swiftness flew too fast for them, and at last their cries and the rattle of their wings died away as he crossed the great river that runs round the world. Now, when the horrible creatures were far in the distance, and the boy found himself on the right side of the river, he flew straight eastward, trying to seek his own country. But as he looked down from the air, he saw a very strange sight, a beautiful girl chained to a stake at the high water mark of the sea. And that is where we will end this part of the terrible head, the penultimate part, because on Friday we will hear the end of the tale. Because again, this is not a story of Medusa, this is a story of Perseus. And while Medusa's head has been removed, we didn't get to see the birth of Pegasus springing from her body. But we are going to get another part of this story, a tale of a terrible head. This is Dan Scholz for the Folktale Project. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, Overcast, anywhere you like to get your podcasts. You can follow us on Twitter at Folktale Project. You can find us on Auto Radio, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, anywhere you like to listen. And you can always head over to folktaleproject.com, where you'll find a new story waiting for you every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. As always, thank you so much for listening.